Little Lord Scifi. Adventure level, not available. Kobold. Unknown.
My tail wagged happily as I looked at my new bed. It was a cushion with wool blankets on top of it. We had made lots of money from all the trades we'd been doing, and Gally had said that it would be good for more Al if we got better beds. I didn't know who Al was, but Marker had insisted that it was a great idea. I wasn't really sure how a sack of soft stuff could be better than a pile of smell-good leaves, but I couldn't really think of a reason not to order the cushions. We had the coins, and Marker pointed out that it would help the old kobolds with their joint pain. Plus, the wool blankets were included with the purchase, so they didn't even cost us extra coins. Still, I felt like sleeping on something other than smell-good leaves was kind of wrong. My doubts disappeared the moment I laid down, though. The fabric of the blanket was rough enough to scratch my scales just right. The squish felt like laying in a lard pile without the greasiness. It also smelled like flowers instead of lard, which was a little disappointing. It would be up for arguments which smell would be better, I guess. I pulled the blanket over me and laid my head back, prepared to sleep.
Little Lord Scifi, you have done really well, the Lord said to me.
Thanks, my lord, I tried really hard, I beamed, hopping up and down in excitement. It was really easy, too.
That's just because you is a really smart kobold.
The Lord's bony fingers reached down and scratched me in my favourite spot, right behind my ear holes. My tail moved back and forth happily. All the other kobolds watched, impressed that I had done so well. Tomash and Samael gave me some proud smiles. You're so smart and big and strong and awesome, Yamana said. I misdid you a lot. Would you fertilize my eggs? But what about me? Marker asked. I want fertilized eggs too. Little Lord Scifi is potent enough for both of us, Yamana winked.
I will be honored, I said, but I don't have enough time to make little ones. I need to help the Lord. Don't worry, my dear Scifi, the Lord said. I am returned now. You don't have to be Little Lord anymore. You can do whatever you want now, and nobody will bother you with decisions no more.
Really? I asked, excited about being able to play again.
Really, I'm back for good now, and I won't leave no more. Now go fertilize those eggs.
We want our eggs fertilized too, more kobolds shouted.
It's gonna be a busy day, I laughed.
Everyone laughed with me, and it felt really good. Everything was better than I ever could have hoped. I was so happy. Yamana and Marker grabbed my hands and began leading me away.
Wake up, little lord,
Yamana said with a suspiciously deep voice. What? I asked, confused.
Sorry, little lord, but you need to get up.
My eyes snapped open, and I looked around the room for Yamana. Instead, I saw Gar staring down at me. My gigantic Gar was panting a little, as if he had run a long way. Then I remembered that Yamana was dead, and I didn't like Marker that way. I had been dreaming. What's going on? I asked, wiping the drool and stuff off my face.
The Lord is back.
What? I froze.
The Lord is back. He's at the store in the city.
I leapt off of the cushion and almost tripped over the blanket. I hissed at it as I pulled it off my legs. Without saying another word, I started to run as fast as I could through the dungeon. Gar kept pace with me, which was really easy for a Bakobold to do. Long legs means faster runners, but even orcs can't run as fast as Bakobolds can. We ran to the tunnel, through the tunnel, and into the mansion that we turned into a store. The magical lights that we got from the elves kind of hurt my eyes, but I still looked around frantically. Then I saw him. The Lord standing in our store looking at our goods. I wanted to call to him, but my throat wouldn't open. Instead, I ran over and knelt, skidding on the wooden polished floor a little bit.
Ah, Scifi, he said with a happy tone. I see you have done quite well in my absence. Far better than I had expected, certainly.
Thank you, my lord, I said.
Samael was telling me that a secret tunnel to this manor was discovered in the dungeon.
Yes, my lord. Some elf adventurers came and we welcomed them like you told us to. One of them accidentally helped Hinfrey discover the entrance. You said you wanted to trade relations with the town, so I decided that opening a store would be better than waiting for the caravan.
And the municipal government is fine with this?
I don't know, my lord, but the mayor helped us with the forms and buying the manor. We have enough coin to pay off the Moor Gorge, But Tomasz says that we should save some coin to buy more goods to sell from the elves when their caravan comes back.
You're trading with elves as well? From where?
Yes, my lord. The elf adventurers introduced us to some merchants from their kingdom, to the south of the dungeon. We buy stuffs from them, then sells the stuffs to the town in the store. Oh, and we lets merchants open stores in here too. They pay us rent.
Is it just me or has his speech improved?
Somebody else asked. I looked up and saw a familiar pinkish face. The weird shitty guy who helped kill the sucker had a curious look on his face. Then I noticed that the orcs he was with for the fight were also with him. The only people missing from when we saved the Lord were the wasted westerns. I've been taking lessons, I exclaimed.
More like the people in the city kept correcting you, Samuel said quietly.
I glared at my impudent underling. I listened to the corrections and have also been asking about the big words, I argued.
Regardless of how the learning is being done, progress has indeed been made, the Lord said. I chose my proxy well.
Really?
I asked in amazement. Yes, I'm proud of you, Samith.
I felt a wetness on my face and quickly tried to wipe away the tears that had started coming from my eyes. My mama used to tell me that big kobolds don't cry, but I couldn't help it. My good dream was coming true. Except Yamana was still dead, and there wasn't any talk about egg fertilizing. Not that there was really anyone that I wanted to fertilize with except for Yamana. I almost laughed through my tears once I realized the thoughts I was thinking. The Lord told me in his infinite wisdom that I was worthy of something like pride, and here I was thinking about fertilizing eggs. The Lord noticed my tears and nodded softly. Everyone else went quiet. It was hard to tell if they were concerned or they understood. Samiyal's chin was jumping up and down like he was trying not to cry too. Maybe my mama was wrong. I meant to say, kobolds don't cry. Are you okay? The Humi guy asked. Yeah, I managed to say. I'm just so glad. I worked it really, really hard. We all did. And it was scary. I didn't know what to do. Tomasz didn't really know either, and I was so scared that we was doing the wrong stuff or stuff wrong. The Lord is so kind, and he wants what's best for us, but he left it to me to decide what was best for us, and I was so worried that I wasn't ready for it. Was he being too kind in choosing me, or was choosing me by default, because I was the only one who survived the sucker attack? I didn't know, and I didn't like questioning the Lord, and I really, really missed the Lord too.
I missed you too, Samif, all of you. Also, you mean default.
The Lord laughed, and bopped my nose with his bony finger. Oh, yeah, default, not defoot, I chuckled. It's just, this is like the best dream come true right after I awakened. I'm not supposed to be a leader, but I did a good job, and now the Lord is back, so I can go back to being a normal kobold. The Lord's jaw opened slightly, which was an expression I had only seen when the younglings would ask him questions about fertilizing eggs. He would usually say something about how certain knowledge should come at a certain point in maturities, and that they should ask their parents if they're ready for it or not. If they pestered him about it, he would get impatient and threaten to tell their mamas on them. But I didn't ask him about how to fertilize eggs. I already know how to do that. It's easy. So why would he be making that face?
Well, Samif,
the Lord scratched his neck bones.
I'm not entirely back.
You're not back? I asked, confused.
No.
But you're standing here.
Correct.
So you're back, but you're not back?
Yes.
I'm confused, my lord.
I know, the Lord sighed. My time away from the dungeon is not quite finished, but I wanted to visit and see how things were going.
Visit? I asked, tilting my head in confusion.
Yes, I wanted to check in and, depending on how things were going, either reassure you or correct you. I have other matters to attend to that require my presence elsewhere.
Oh, so I'm not done being little lord?
No, not quite yet.
Soon?
Perhaps.
The Lord rubbed his jawbone, though there is a Maybe it's plenty, my lord, I bowed. I can be a strong kobold, as long as I know I don't have to be that forever. The Lord scratched my head and laughed again.
I have seen many good leaders and many bad leaders, Samith, he said. Whether they be kobolds, elves, dwarves, gnomes, or orcs, all good leaders share similar qualities. Good leaders take the time to give things a second thought when they can afford to. They hold themselves accountable because there's no one who doubts them more than they doubt themselves. But above all, they don't allow these doubts to stop them from doing what needs to be done. I firmly believe that, were I to ask any of the kobolds or kobolds that are under your guidance, they would all agree that's an apt description of you. A murmur of agreement came from the kobolds and kobolds who were watching. I looked at them in disbelief and saw Samiel nodding really hard. Then the Lord said something that shocked me to my core. In many ways, you're a better leader than I am. This led to some confusing stuff in my head. The words almost felt good to hear, but I was angry at the Lord for being critically of the Lord, but being angry at the Lord wasn't right to do, so I decided to be angry at the words instead. Absorbingly not, my lord, I argued. I think you mean absolutely. Doesn't matter, sire, I hissed angrily. You has been the Lord since way before I was born. You are the only leader I has ever had. You are super strong, you are super smart, but you still look after us. Even kobolds that are new know that you are gooder than their chiefs ever could be, because you are more than we could ever hope to be, but you hope for us. You saw my great-great-great-great-grandparents struggling, and not only helped them, but you helped all their kids too. How could you not be the best leader ever? The other kobolds cheered at my words, demonstrating their loyalties for the Lord. I nodded approvingly at them. All of those things you said about me applies to you too, my lord. No, the Lord laughed. I definitely don't doubt myself nearly enough. You're doing it right now, my lord, I interrupted. Everything you said makes me a good leader is stuff that I learned from watching you when I was a hatchling. Whenever I has to leads, I just copy how I've seen you do it. He's a very good copier, Gar agreed with a chuckle. Samief does well as your proxy, my lord, but you are our lord because you're wise enough to have seen his potential, Samiel added. Even if he were to remain our leader for the rest of his days, he could never reach the level of experience in the role that you have. We all respect the little lord, and will live and die at his word, but only because that word is reflective of those that would come from you, our true lord. The orcs that were friends of the lord looked at him with uncomfortable expressions. The pink guy just kind of nodded silently, but the lord stared at us, seemingly at a loss for words. You are the lord, I said. You will always be our lord, even when you don't want to. Everything we have, everything we are, is all thanks to you. I will be the little lord for you. We will make friends with all these townfolk for you. We will protect our home for you. We will better ourselves for you. I could feel an excitement in the air, building which each world. I rose to my feet. Proudly, I looked our lord in the face and took a deep breath. Everything we do, I shouted, raising my fist. We do it for the Lord, the others shouted back. The Lord looked around at each of us. The Humian bigger orc looked a little nervous, but the bald orc chuckled a little. He took a step closer to the Lord. Looks like you've accidentally made a cult, he said. A kobold cult. Not cult. I shook my head. The Lord not Slafris. The Lord cares. Slafris doesn't. Slafris? The being that kobolds worship as their creator, the Lord said absent-mindedly. Slafris make it us as a prank on the weirdos, I explained. Made it so we eated them. Then they fought us, trying to kill us all, but before they could, some mages rescued us. Then mages make kobolds and killed each other. Now Slafris ignores us, but there are some slobberheads who think that if they cry loud enough, Slafris will come back and make life betterer. Their minds are mush, Gar added. Slafris is a cruel god thing. Definitely not something you want paying attention to you. Ah, are we talking about the cult of Slafris? Tomash asked as he entered the room. Oh, many respectful greetings, my lord. Apologies for my delay and lack of decorum, but these knees grow sour with age. Hello, Tomash, the lord nodded. Don't worry about prostration. Your presence is enough. Thank you, my lord. Now, what's this about the cult of Slafris? We's telling the orc about how mean Slafris is, I explained. Ah, Tomash nodded slowly. With respect, little lord, mean is not nearly a harsh enough word. Slafris is the epitome of cruelty. I suspect that being a god is boring, and if that's the case, Slafris must find amusement in suffering. Legend has it that the first batch of kobolds he created could only eat wilder. Naturally, they starved to death. Oh, so that's who you meant by weirdos. York chuckled at me.
So I take it the next batch could eat regular meat?
Yes, but only living flesh, and our ancestors desperately craved the living flesh of the fair folk.
Tomas shook his head in disgust.
Most Walder automatically regenerate their flesh, so long as you don't use iron to carve them, you see. It led to much suffering and a lasting grudge between our peoples.
Do you still need to eat living flesh? The Hume asked.
No. Powerful mages began fighting each other and eventually sought help from the Walder. The Walder asked them to be rid of us in exchange for favors. Some of the mages saw our value as foot soldiers and captured us instead of eradicating us. Several generations of experimentation later, and we can eat meat just as you can.
And my kind exists, Gar said.
I see. Do you know anything about these experiments? Baldy asked.
No. Tomas chuckled darkly. Why? Looking to repeat them?
Your character is far more honourable than that, the Lord said. If one such as he were to wish to experiment, it would be for your benefit.
Yes, my lord, my apologies. It was in jest and I meant no offence.
Good.
The Lord glanced at York, who smiled.
Now, we're on a pretty tight schedule, so I would appreciate being brought up to speed on what's been happening around here. A tour wouldn't go amiss either.
Yes, yes, I said, my tail moving back and forth with excitement. I shows you all the stuffs we has, my lord. Tomas and I took the Lord and his friends around the store, showing him our stuff and telling him how we got it. He was a little shocked about how much stuff the elves were willing to sell us, and warned us to use caution when doing international trades. Tomas pointed out that we had been surprised by the ban on our mushrooms, and so we had employees that double-checked with city authorities, but we weren't sure if something was legal to buy or sell. I beamed when Tomas noted that it had been my idea. We continued our tour, showing the Lord our vendor shops. We explained that we let merchants rent the rooms as well as put up a sign. This kept them off the streets, gave them a safe place to store their goods, and brought more people to our store. It had been the mayor's idea, who said it might be a good way to clear up some of the walkways. Tomas explained that we also allowed the merchants to live in their rooms if they paid extra, but hardly anyone had taken us up on that. Our tour carefully avoided the ones who did, though, because we didn't want to wake them up. Then we got to the good part. One of the bestest things about the manor was a feature that had survived all the bad weather and rot that had taken hold when nobody lived here. Right next to the tunnel that led to the dungeon was a tunnel that led into a giant metal room with a very heavy door. The mayor had given us the key once the Moor Gorge was approved, and even thought there wasn't anything cool in it. We figured that it was a good place to store coins. My heart raced as I watched the Lord's jaw drop. Stacks of coins as tall as kobolds lined the back walls. Paintings, jewellery, statues, ancient tomes, and various other valuables were neatly sorted on the sides. The Yorks and the Hume were also impressed, but I cared a lot less about their thoughts. The Lord congratulated us on our success, and it made me really, really happy. Then we had nothing left to show him, and he had to go. It was surprising how quickly the happy turned to sad, but I decided that I would cherish the good stuff instead of dwelling on the sad stuff. We knelt before our Lord as he bid us his farewells. Then the Lord and his companions left us, with the promise that he would return one day. We all hoped that day would be soon.